This Friday is International Women's Day, and here in Saskatchewan, we lag behind when it comes to getting women involved in politics. Of the 61 MLAs, only 16 are women. NDP MLA Nicole Sarauer joins me now to talk a little bit about your time at the Saskatchewan Legislature. Thank you so much for taking the time today. First off, what got you involved in politics in the beginning?
Well, I was always interested in politics, but I never really saw myself running politically or being heavily involved in a party in particular. Prior to being elected, I worked as a lawyer for a nonprofit charity. We did a lot of public interest work, helping people who fell through the cracks in the justice system. And through that work, I met a lot of people who were struggling in our community and who were being heavily impacted by government level decisions, and noticed that there wasn't really that voice at the table. So through that work, I got a bit more involved politically, provincially, and then was encouraged to run. And I strongly believe that we need more women in politics, and more younger women in particular, and eventually was doing too much talking and finally needed to walk the walk. So that's in a nutshell why I ultimately threw my hat in the ring and was honored to be chosen by the people of Regina Douglas Park to represent them in 2016.
Why do you think it's so important to have women in politics?
Well, it's important for us as elected representatives to actually represent the people who elect us demographically, where women are half the population, yet in the history of Saskatchewan we haven't had enough women elected to actually fill up the legislative building. So we haven't even had 61 women elected. We're not close to hitting 50% women right now. When we have more diverse views at the table, better decisions get made, frankly, be it all sorts of levels of diversity. But women in particular, we need to be doing a much better job.
There's clearly ground to be made up, but what are some of the challenges that you find women face when they're trying to get involved or not even sure how to go about getting involved in a political career?
Well, I think there are a few different challenges. I can't speak for everybody and what their experiences are. I do think a lot of women, younger women, don't necessarily see this as a career path for them for whatever reason. Either they self-select or they're encouraged not to pursue it as an option. I know for me, it was never something that I saw myself as being involved in, being an MLA. And when I speak to young women in high school, I see a similar sentiment. My past career path in law, we were having that problem decades ago, but that's not the problem anymore. It's later on down the line when you've been practicing for several years that we see women drop off from the practice sphere. But in politics, I still think we're behind in terms of making younger women know that this is a really great career path for them, and it's a really great way of serving your community.
So what would your advice be to women who are maybe thinking about it but not really sure how to start to get involved and pursue that career?
I would say reach out to a mentor if you know of anybody who's already involved. I would put myself up as an option. Feel free, don't ever hesitate to reach out to somebody that you think is pursuing a direction that you want to pursue. Don't ever shortchange yourself. Frankly, if I can do it, they can do it as well. So don't ever self-doubt, don't ever count yourself out. There are a lot of options, and this is one that should be more available to younger women.
All right, well, we appreciate you sharing a little bit of your story and this with us today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.